What's up guys, Nashli here and welcome back to my channel. So napanood nyo yung ginawa kong unboxing and hands-on review ng Redmi Note 7. Ang gagawin naman natin this time is sasabihin ko kung ano yung mga things that I like and things that I don't like about the Redmi Note 7. In addition, papakita ko din sa inyo kung ano yung mga iba't ibang competitors nitong Redmi Note 7 sa kanyang price range at kung para kanino nga ba ang smartphone na tulad ng Redmi Note 7. So, huwag na nating patagalin pa. Let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty.
Isang paalala, ang video na ito ay hindi katang-isip lamang. Ito ay pinag-isipan na talagang pinaghirapan. Kaya huwag kalimutang i-like at mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel. I-follow mo namin ako sa Facebook, Twitter at Instagram.
So the Redmi Note 7 price starts at 7,990 pesos. That's for the 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of internal storage. So if you go up the ladder, the next variant would be the one with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of internal storage. That's 9,990 pesos. And then the most expensive variant is the one with 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. It costs 11,490 pesos. Okay, so yung price range niya medyo mahaba. From that, pwede pa rin natin ma-deduce kung ano yung mga smartphones na kinakalaban ni Redmi Note 7. The first of which is the Realme 3. So itong Realme 3 is a budget smartphone na kakalabas lang recently, basically days before the Redmi Note 7. Looks very similar to the Redmi Note 7. It's just that it undercuts its price by a full 1,000 pesos. The next would be, again, this is in my opinion, the Samsung Galaxy M20. So this one retails for 10,990 pesos. Again, medyo malayo siya doon sa entry-level price ni Redmi Note 7 pero malapit doon sa mid-variant at sa top of the line. The third would be the Honor 10 Lite. So this one has been released last year pa, late last year. So in terms of specs, sobrang magkalapit sila ni Redmi Note 7. It's just that sa price, meron silang mga more or less 2,000 peso price difference depending kung saan mo bibilin si Honor 10 Lite because it retails for 9,990 pesos. And then other contenders would be the Huawei Y6 Pro and the Huawei Y7 Pro. Also within Xiaomi itself, madami pa siyang pwedeng makalaban na smartphones. But basically, we're trying to compare Redmi Note 7 with other brands. So, tingnan natin kung ano nga ba ang advantages and disadvantages ni Redmi Note 7 against these competing handsets.
Versus the Realme 3, obviously the Redmi Note 7 has a better display, a better GPU, a superior camera setup, in addition to a USB-C port and an infrared blaster. Comparing to the Samsung Galaxy M20, the Redmi Note 7 has a better chipset, a higher resolution rear and front camera, an infrared blaster, a cheaper price, and of course, it comes with Android Pie out of the box. In comparison to the Honor 10 Lite, the Redmi Note 7 comes with a better GPU, a higher resolution rear camera, a larger battery capacity, a USB-C port, an infrared blaster, and a more affordable price.
So, what are the things that I like and I don't like about the Redmi Note 7? So, basically, ito na yung pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages niya. So, let's get to it. The things that I like, so unahin natin yan. So, number one would be its solid build quality and premium looks. So, pag tinignan mo siya, it looks like it's a sturdy phone, of course. Siyempre, pag binagsak mo siya, magagasga siya, pwede siyang magka-dent, pwede mo mabasag yung screen. Pero in general, it doesn't creak. Wala kang makikita na parang sobrang cheap ng pagkakagawa sa kanya. Another thing is that yung likod niya, it's made of glass. Again, sa lahat ng competitors niya sa segment na to, siya lang yung may glass na back. Number 2 would be its outstanding battery life. So I think the 4000 mAh battery is more than enough to power this phone for a day or two or even longer depending on how much you use this phone. At the same time, meron siyang 18 watts na charging. So basically, it can charge the phone really fast. Number 3 would be connectivity options. Again, itong Redmi Note 7, for its price range and for the segment it's competing in, sobrang dami niyang options for connectivity. The Redmi Note 7 comes with a USB-C type of port. Ito yung reversible na port for charging or for USB audio or headphones. Again, among all its competitors, it's only the Galaxy M20 which costs 3,000 pesos more that has this feature. I think that all 2019 smartphones should come with USB-C port. Aside from the USB-C connectivity, the Redmi Note 7 has LTE, GPS, it has an IR blaster, it has FM radio support, it has dual SIM connectivity, it has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 3.5mm jack. So basically, alam mo yun, lahat ng pwede niyang i-offer halos ay na-i-offer niya. So, in terms of connectivity, you're well covered with the Redmi Note 7. Another thing that I like about it is the LED notification light. So, siguro sa iba hindi to big deal, pero for someone like me who wants to know, like even without touching your phone, makikita mo lang na may nagbi-blink na something, you know that there's a notification that you have to check, right? So, ito yung purpose ng notification light or notification LED. Sa mga competitors niya, the only ones that have it are the Honor and Huawei phones. Another thing that I like about the Redmi Note 7 is the camera performance. So, it comes with a 48 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel depth sensor. I'm talking about itong rear main camera niya, guys. So, basically, sobrang okay yung features, especially in daylight. It captures really good photos. I'm sure you've seen some of the photos in my previous vlog episode. So, it's something that I really appreciate about the Redmi Note 7. In addition, yung night mode niya na sobrang reliable pagdating ng gabi kasi you get to see more in the photo than, you know, if you're just using the regular camera mode. Another thing that I like about this is the fluid and responsive UI. Again, itong user interface, user experience is very subjective. But for me, I think itong MIUI niya na MIUI 10 based on Android Pie, it's not very hard to navigate and to use. Just to let you know, guys, I've been using Samsung smartphones since 2013. And then, you know, using MIUI on the Redmi Note 7, sobrang hindi ako nahirapan. You know, napakadali. You know, very fluid. Never ako naka-experience ng stutter or lag dito sa Redmi Note 7. So, and something that I really like about the Redmi Note 7. Last but not the least would be its value for money. As I've said, for its price, it's very affordable price of 7,990 pesos. It offers a lot of things like, you know, in terms of bang for your buck, like spec by spec, if you compare it to its competitors, mas madaming ino-offer si Redmi Note 7. Siguro, part of it is yung philosophy ni Xiaomi na 5% lang yung profit margin niya for all of its phones. So, with that, malaki yung tulong niya to cut its price and, you know, it doesn't really spend that much on marketing and advertising. So, mas dinedicate na lang niya siguro into putting as many features as possible into an affordable smartphone, which is, of course, the Redmi Note 7. So, with all this said, of course, walang phone na perfect. If there are things that I like about it, of course, like any other phone, kahit flagship pa man yan, mayroon pa din yan mga shortcomings and mga cons. So, ano ba tong mga to? Most of the things that I will say here are basically parang nitpicking kasi you can't really expect that much from a phone of this price competing in this segment. But then again, ituloy na natin kung ano man to mga to. Number 1, it doesn't have NFC. That's near field communication. You use it for mobile payments, for, you know, transfer of data or information. Again, none of its competitors offer it. Yung Honor 10 Lite, it offers it, but not in all markets. So it's only the Honor 10 Lite that has NFC. But then again, it's also 2,000 pesos more expensive than the Redmi Note 7. Number 2, it has no IP rating. No, wala siyang water and dust resistance rating. So it would have been nicer if, meron siyang kahit konting resistance to water and dust. Or kahit just it being splash proof. The good thing is, wala din sa mga competitors niya ang nag-o-offer nito. So, parang kung may ganito man siyang feature, it's just gonna be a bonus. Number 3, no 4K video recording. So, again, usong-uso ngayon yung 4K Ultra HD video capture. Again, lahat ng mga flagship phones meron ito. Mid-range phones, upper mid-range, they usually have it. But of course, the Redmi Note 7 na isang budget device, it doesn't have it. Number 4 would be its large chin and yung kanyang fingerprint-magnet na backside. So yung large chin, more or less, lahat din naman ng competitors niya ay may large chin. The only one that has a really thin chin is the Honor 10 Lite, which is again more expensive than it. Yung pagiging fingerprint magnet ng likod niya, it's more of like a consequence of it having a glass back. So I think there's a trade-off there, but for me, it's fine. You can just wipe it with a cloth and then malinis na ulit siya. Siguro of all its disadvantages or cons, the only thing that I could really consider as a con is this one. It's hybrid dual SIM slot. At any given time, you can have 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and 1 micro SD card slot. You cannot have 2 SIM cards and another micro SD card slot, which some of its competitors offer. I think pwedeng nagawan to ng paraan ni Xiaomi to put another slot, a dedicated micro SD card slot for the Redmi Note 7. But then again, it also has to cut corners somewhere. So for me, this is probably the only true disadvantage of the Redmi Note 7. But then again, if you don't use 2 SIM cards, hindi ka naman nagsasubscribe sa 2 networks, then walang problema dito sa Redmi Note 7. So basically, that concludes the things that I like and I don't like about the Redmi Note 7. So after nyo malaman yung mga pros and cons of buying a Redmi Note 7 and how it fares against its competitors, para kanino nga ba ang Redmi Note 7? Well, if you ask me, ang Redmi Note 7 ay para sa mga taong naghahanap ng, kapalit sa kanilang mga 2017 or 2018 phones na merong decent specs for a very affordable price. Sobrang daming features ni Redmi Note 7 na hindi mo matatagpuan sa mga kalaban niya in its price range. So that's number 1. Number 2 is those people who are looking for an entry-level gaming smartphone. Again, the Redmi Note 7 comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 processor. So itong chipset na ito ay hindi siya kilala talaga for its gaming performance. But, nevertheless, it handles most games well. Even yung mga sobrang hard to render na mga graphics. Number 3, it's for those who want to take high-res photos. To be more specific, itong 48 megapixel camera ng Redmi Note 7. Again, ma-access mo lang tong 48 megapixel resolution if you go dun sa Pro mode or basically ito yung manual mode ng camera. Malaking factor na kung gusto mo mas detailed yung pictures, yung photos, then you go with the 48 megapixel camera ni Redmi Note 7. And the last reason why you would want to buy a Redmi Note 7 is basically a combination of features or things that most of its competitors do not offer. So what are these ba? Number 1 would be IR blaster or basically infrared port. Ito magagamit mo to sa mga TV as your remote control or any other appliance na gumagamit ng infrared for controls. Again, this is not a very common feature nowadays. Like, maraming flagship phones wala na nito at even on mid-range and budget devices, hindi lahat sila nag-o-offer ng infrared port. In fact, dito sa mga direct competitors, I don't think any of them offers an infrared port. Also, of course, yung kanyang long battery life with its 4,000 mAh battery. In general, yung Redmi Note 7 kasi, it's a very decent all-rounder smartphone. Whatever you throw at it, whatever you use it for, it will do a decent job. So, whether it be taking photos or videos or listening to music, or watching videos on YouTube, texting, playing games. I think the Redmi Note 7 in general can do that job. So overall, I'm giving the Redmi Note 7 a rating of 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that's a high rating because of, its value for money features na basically mahirap mahanap sa mga competitors within its price range. Again, disclaimer lang, itong Redmi Note 7 na to ay binili ko using my own money, pinag-ipunan ko to. It was not given to me, it's not a sponsored video. Hindi ako binayaran ng Xiaomi or Redmi for me to do this review. So, sana madami kayong natutunan sa video na ito. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Only here on the channel where Nashty is nice. I'm Nashty. Till then.